Hey, friends, there's unintended consequences to complaining. I want to read this verse it's a little bit ridiculous in Exodus 16. We're going to read 3 in part of 4. Here's what it says. Then the Israelites said to them, "If only we had died by the Lord's hand in Egypt. There we sat around pots of meat and ate all the food that we wanted. But you've brought us into this desert to starve the entire assembly to death." Then the Lord said to Moses, "I will rain down bread from heaven on you." Right? The emphasis. That's all me. This is hilarious. God's getting sassy with them because these people are barely out of captivity. They've been slaves for 400 years, and they just saw God part a sea so they could walk through not on muddy ground but on dry ground to get away from the people that were pursuing them. They're barely out of that situation, and they're not. Hey, what are we gonna do about this food situation? Hey, we can go hunting. No, no, no. We had more food while we were in captivity. And God's like, "You want bread? I'm gonna rain bread." Right? It's right. This is my kids when we go shopping and I just buy them new clothes and new toys, and they want to go out to eat on the way home, and I'm like, "No, no, no, we're gonna go home and we're gonna cook something there." And they're, "You never buy us anything," while they're holding bags of new stuff. Right? That's what God's people are doing here, and I just love God. You want bread? I will bring you have all the bread. You're gonna get. And then God he gets this, has his little moment. Then he puts some parameters. They were only to take enough for one day, except for the day before the Sabbath. They were taking enough for 2 days, so they didn't have to work on the Sabbath. And you know what God's people do? They didn't listen. It's laughable, and it's exactly what we do. See, people who complain and grumble, they've got a problem they can't see. And for these people, it led to them wandering in the desert for 40 years. While that might seem ridiculous, think about the complainers that you know, the grumblers. They're just stuck. They're complaining about the same thing for years and years and how unfair life is and how their issues are always somebody else's fault. And I'm not even going to tell you they're wrong. What I am going to say is if they would invest all that energy they spent in complaining into practical solutions, they wouldn't be stuck anymore. It's why the Apostle Paul would later say that to teach followers of Christ to do everything without complaining or arguing. What if followers of Jesus did that? How would that change our reputation? Paul says that people don't complain and argue. They stand out like stars on a pitch black night sky. Yeah. So it's not be careful what you wish for. It's be careful what you complain about because there's some definite unintended consequences to complaining. You just get stuck. Have a beautiful day.